Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Spiritual Nomad podcast. My name is Luke again, and here we are talking about some really important things when it comes to discerning and walking through your life and living into the fullness of who you are. These are two elements that I think are extremely important to be able to incorporate, to understand, to really listen to within you. And these things are intuition and timing. Intuition and timing. I think that those are so overlooked in our culture. We have an obsession with speed. We have an obsession with just doing and executing and just being a human doing instead of a human being, as cheesy as that sounds. We have not realized how important timing is, divine timing, how important our instinct, our intuition is when it comes to making decisions. We just look everything in life as just a way to just execute, to do it, to accomplish it, to get it done. The time is now. And what I'm suggesting to you today is that to live into a life of wholeness, to live into the fullness of a spiritual life, is to not base your life like that of a machine or that of a Western world who seeks to just only inflate the bottom line, but to actually embody a sort of waiting and anticipation and expectation and intuition whenever it comes to learning the cycles of who you are and how you actually live. Because the reality is, in nature, in the world, when you look at all else, all creation other than human beings, everything knows its cycles. Everything has an awareness of when it comes into bloom and when it has its peak and when the leaves die and when they, are bare all winter long. Nature, the trees know this. Bears, we were just watching a thing with our kids about hibernation. And these bears, they sleep, they eat up enough food, they get fat, and then they feed on those fat storages all winter long. And then they wake up after 3 months and they go hunting for food again. This is the cycle of a bear's life. We have no awareness for that as being mammals within us, that we live also in cycles. We live also in ways of doing things that aren't just always crunching out. The reality is we are not machines. We're people. We're humans. We are a part of nature. We are not separate from nature, making nature our bitch. We are a part of the flow of all creation. And in that flow of all creation, we have to surrender and submit to the natural cycles of what happens. And what we need to do then is realize that there is timing in all of this that is so important. And the timing is coupled with intuition to know when is the right time to gather food for storage for winter. When is the right time to lay down in hibernation, if you will? When is the right time to come out and to begin to hunt again? All the proverbial things for the nature of the world, right? Bears and trees and everything there within. We need to reestablish connection with our real humanity that is a part of nature. We are creation. That's who we are. We were created in the image and likeness of the divine. So yes, we have divine spark within us that needs to be realized and curated and cultivated and manifested. We need to do that. We've neglected that. We have lacked on that. But insofar as we are divine, we are also man, woman. We are people. We are humans. And in that humanity, as we are created in the image and likeness, you even look at that, right? You were created, so you're creation. In the image and likeness of divine, so you're divine. You're a created divine being. And so, yes, you are beyond your body. You're beyond space and time and all of these things. You are one with the universe or God, if you will. But here, in this incarnation, that means spirit becoming flesh, in this incarnation that is your life, You have to orient yourself towards the natural flow of nature. This is what the Tao talks about. The Tao, the way, is all about understanding the watercourse way, as Alan Watts talks about. It's understanding the natural flow and rhythm of rivers and of currents and of animals, of species. It's following these natural rhythms, and we have been so disjointed and disconnected from our humanity, and we've also been disjointed from our divinity as well. But in this talk specifically, we've been disjointed from our humanity, that we have completely neglected what it means to live in cycles and seasons of flow, and to understand the importance of timing and intuition. Now, timing is so important because you can do the right thing at the wrong time. You can do the right thing at the wrong time. And you can do the wrong thing at the right time. And the thing is, there is a specific timing and flow that is happening all around us all the time. This is the divine kingdom. This is the kingdom of God. There is a flow, a divine perfect order. And if you are not in tune with that divine perfect order, you will do things that create and cause friction. And we see this in ways manifesting in stress, in anxiety, in worry, in doubt, in insecurity, with fear. These are all friction pieces to the divine perfect order, because we are not in tune and in timing with that divine perfect order. And so we wonder why there's friction in our life. Well, it's probably because we've not slowed down enough to tune into the eternal flow of all things and seek what is the correct timing for our incarnation in participation and union with the Creator of it all. And so friction comes when we do not respect and honor timing in our life. When we think that we have it figured out best, when we think that it's just always on. It's not always on. The best way to fix a computer problem is to reboot the damn thing. You need to reboot the thing and allow all of the working pieces to rest and find their flow again, right? Your computer gets all bogged down because you got all these programs running, all this stuff happening, these things that are going on, and your computer is like sounding like it's a jet engine ready for takeoff, and it's burning your desk. The way to fix all of those things that are happening, that are literally on full blast, is to turn them off, let them recalibrate, turn them back on, and allow it to work in sync together for best optimal use. The same way with us. We have all these programs, all of this stuff running, all of these things that we're giving ourselves to, we're doing, running ourselves into the ground, even though it's all good things. Maybe you're focusing on being a healer, you're holding space for people. Maybe you're a spiritual director, you're a pastor, you're a coach, you're someone who is giving yourself, you're a mom, you're a dad, you're a business owner, you are doing great contribution in the world. But if you neglect timing, it will eventually get the apple wheel of death. And ultimately there will be friction and hardship and difficulty and breakdown if we do not honor flow and timing. So what we have to understand is that there is a right time to do things. There is a right flow and order. And when we create our ego to drive over that, that creates friction and breakdown and fractions within us. It breaks things into smaller parts of ourselves when the whole point of everything is to become whole, to put us together. We pull ourselves apart when we do not honor and respect timing and flow from what is happening in the divine realm of the kingdom. And it's going to take, to understand timing, to understand the orientation to divine perfect order, to understand the best, most transcendent, eternal way to do very real everyday life things like run your business or be a mom or a dad or whatever it is that you might be doing in the world, even just to go work at the coffee shop, whatever. The way that you're gonna have to do that is to orient yourself toward intuition, to know and have connection to this divine eternal flow, to have an intuition and an instinct of what is correct, what is the participation, what's the invitation with the eternal in this season right now. And you can do the right things in the wrong time, and it's going to create friction. It's all about orienting toward the eternal divine flow of the universe, surrendering to the Creator who has everything in perfect union and flow, and know that just because you have a good idea, just because there's something that is beneficial or good, may not be realized in this moment in time. And it's going to not only create friction in you and those around you, but it's going to maybe even stunt the process of the timing. And again, shifting now into intuition, you have to be intuitive to know when, where, how, why, the participation, where it's going, where you are merging with, where you are not only merging with, but then emerging into the world. You have to be tuned into that in an intuitive way. And again, in the West, we're so focused with facts, and we're so focused with linear thinking, with logical thinking. And I'm so frustrated about how this is an expectation for so many of us. It plagues so many of us. Like, I was on Instagram the other day and I saw a post that said, entrepreneur has an idea and 30 days later has a business. Wantrepreneur has an idea and 30 days later has an idea. And I think that's utter bullshit, because the reality is, and I commented on there, and luckily people are waking up to this reality. There are so many things. It's not just linear thinking. It's not just this logistical way of just putting systems in order and getting the right programs on your computer. It's about timing. It's about connection. It's about relationship. It's about skill and experience and know-how. It's about all of the things that are brought to this moment. Maybe the entrepreneur is the one who has the idea and implements it, and maybe that was just his time in the infinite realm of things to do that and realize that within 30 days. But I would even go as far to say anything that's worth something, anything that's going to have meaning, even if that is a business just to make money, you're going to have a foundation. Anything that's going to last has to have a big, deep foundation. Anything that is going to be thrown up overnight is going to be prone to breakdown and problems. There's a reason why you go to a theme park that has engineers who have built these roller coasters and they're not going anywhere, and you trust those, and you don't trust the little carnival that pops up within 24 hours and has a few rides and then they're gone and on to the next thing. Because it's like, what if Rick didn't fully tighten a bolt down and now I'm dead because I went on the spin-a-wheel or whatever, you know? It's like, throwing something up fast and just getting it to work so quickly isn't always the evidence of something that is actually going to have an impact to fulfill its purpose for what it's supposed to do. And the rides at the theme park are always way better than the cheap little carnival things that just get thrown up overnight. And so it's intuition to know that. It's skill to work in union and flow with the eternal order, to know the timing and to rest. The intuition to rest in the order and flow of things without bringing our own agendas to it. Now, your agenda, your desire can be inspired by the divine, but you're going to have the intuition to know what is full of life and what is seeking to suck life. Enthusiasm is a good thing. It means being full of spirit, full of charisma, full of a something outside of you that is giving you and birthing life within you. That's good. And you have to realize your intuition to know that if you are doing something and it's lacking that, then it's probably not something built on a foundation that's in tune with the eternal divine order of things. So what are you doing right now? What are you participating in right now that needs to be reevaluated in its timing? What is something that needs to have a touchdown in your intuition to realize that it's good, but not right now? And I trust that the timing will come in due time, in divine time. And having the intuition to be able to lick your finger and put it in the air and know which way's the wind blowing and say, I'll go that way. And surrendering your own ego, surrendering your own ego for the divine mind that wants to awaken within you, that will lead you on a pathway of righteousness. Righteousness literally means in accordance with. God is inviting you into accordance with Him. He's inviting you into union with Him. He's inviting you into oneness with Him. That's the purpose of anything that we do in life. And having the intuition to know the participation and the timing will invite you into greater realization of that which transcends all of the things you might do in the world. Knowing the identity, knowing the union, understanding flow, the process of awakening intuition is more important than whatever sort of product or service comes out of your life. It's not about what you can produce. Get that narrative out of your head. Get that narrative out. That is a narrative from a capitalistic world that wants to suck you dry for your money. It's not about what you can produce. It's about realizing the reality of who you are and becoming into the fullness of the fruition of why you exist in union with the eternal. Wholeness. Your being is what is the pinnacle of living, not what you produce, but rather who you are in the core essence and the realization of your eternal presence, working with, living with, realizing in tune and in flow participation. And you have to develop intuition to do that, to live into the divine timing, to orient yourself towards something that transcends you and goes beyond you, but yet includes you. All of this is what is going to be important to live the abundant life that we are all called to live into. So, developing the awareness for timing and developing the practice of intuition is going to radically transform the value of your life, the meaning of your life, the purpose of your life. Because all of those things, the value and the meaning and the purpose, is not found in the result, it's found in the process. And God is inviting you into the process of the realization of becoming who He's already created you to be. You are created in the image and likeness. So, in tune with creation, realize the seasons, realize the time, realize your connection to divine, and understand that all things are working in perfect flow, in perfect order, with or without our ambition, our ego, our agendas, and surrendering to that for the full realization of the beauty of life. That's today's episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. We'll see you again next week. Peace and blessings, my friends.